this episode of Who Gets the China, where we are navigating life with aging parents and trying to do it with humor and grace and patience. And today we're going to try a new episode where we're going to have a casual conversation with a friend and colleague of mine who is navigating this aspect of life. And we're going to learn from her and her recent experience and hopefully benefit from her experience. So, this is my friend Jen. Jen has aging parents, as we all do. And today we wanted to have a conversation about what happens after a loved one passes and it's time to clean the closets.
Yeah.
This is such a difficult and painful process, even if you've done a lot of decluttering up to now. And in this case, Jen's father-in-law recently passed away. And so she went through this experience with her mother-in-law and her in-laws kind of as like a trusted family member, but one degree of separation out because it's an in-law.
Great.
Sound good?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, so I love that you were asked to be part of this really practical piece of the mourning process with your in-laws.
Yes.
Um, tell me, how did that happen? How did it come to pass that they asked you to participate in this part of it?
Sure. Well, I guess this is my husband's father, and he has two sisters, and I just wanted to be part of it. You know, I've been part of the family for about 20 some years. Just wanted to contribute. You know, they have done a lot for me over the years, and this is just something that I felt that I kind of wanted to give back, wanted to be a part of. It's a lot of work, as we know, and just felt like it was kind of my duty. So I was happy and kind of honored to be part of it. My sister-in-laws and my husband have been doing so much, and I know they could probably use a little break too from all the work. So happy to kind of jump in there and do some of the things that maybe they're not emotionally ready for.
Yeah, because I think going through somebody's closets and possessions, it's so personal, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So my mother-in-law, you know, she asked me if I could empty out his closet and his drawers. I went into this telling myself, you know, it's an honor that she asked you to do this piece for her and for the family. It was hard. It was hard, but I was more than happy to take on that role for them.
What was the most surprising thing that was hard?
It was a bit emotional for me. You know, it's just clothing, right? It's just clothes, right? It's just clothes that you're just stuff.
Right.
You know, we all have clothes, we all have stuff, but you're taking those shirts, and I remember him wearing them.
Yeah.
He's tall, he's thin. So these are all these tall XL shirts. And it just kind of personalizes it, I think, a little bit. You know, one shirt had toothpaste on it. So that was a little tough.
Yeah, because it's such a sign of a human being
Yes.
wore these not that long ago.
Just very nice shirts. They're all in very nice like condition too. So what I did, I kind of just took them all off hangers, folded them up, put them in a suitcase, and just kind of close the suitcase. I brought them all downstairs, which I don't know if that was the best thing to do because people were kind of around while I was doing it.
I have a question about this. So,
Yeah.
had his siblings already gone through what was in the closet and, like taken a sweatshirt that meant something to them? Like, how did that work?
Great question. I don't really know. I took some things for my son. My daughter was there, and he had this really cool, like, University of Chicago sweatshirt. I offered that to her. I don't think Tim's sisters or Tim really went through it. And then they had the opportunity to, right?
Right. We don't need to go into a lot of detail, but this was a situation where he was older, but you fill me in, he got
Sure.
sick and
Yeah.
passed relatively quickly. Like it was essentially
Yeah.
a matter of weeks, right?
Yeah.
So there wasn't a lot of time to prepare. There was a very limited amount of time. Is that right?
Right. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
he was skiing. He was like an amazing skier, skiing the Black Diamonds up in Vale. I mean, I never wanted to ski with him because I couldn't keep up with him. And how embarrassing is that? You can't keep up with a 75-year-old man, you know? But he was a great athlete. He was a biker. Um, so anyway, he was skiing. He fell. He hurt his hip. Couldn't get his hip to kind of feel better. Went to physical therapy. Had an X-ray. Just to make a long story short, they discovered that he had prostate cancer, which had spread to his bones.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, it was terminal. So, in like a matter of 2 months, he just passed away. So, how do
Yeah.
you prepare for that? I mean,
You don't really.
you,
I
you
mean,
don't. I mean, how do you say, well, I know you're going to be dead in, 2 weeks? You can't really say that.
right.
Or like, I mean, I think we all kind of knew this was the end, but you can't, how do you gingerly say that to someone?
Right.
You
And
know?
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess like I'm thinking if it's somebody that I love,
Hmm.
like at that point, you're not at all worried about the physical manifestation of your day-to-day life, right? It's like
Right.
we're just focused on caring for this person, showing our love, showing up for them. You know,
Yeah.
you're not worried about the details of like how are we gonna, you know, go through stuff. Like
Right.
that's the farthest thing from
Right.
your mind.
Right.
Well, I don't know, is it? I mean, I would imagine it is. Or
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, it was. You just want him to be comfortable.
right.
So he went to the hospital and then he went to hospice and then that was just kind of it. It was like a week, really. He had this biopsy on a Thursday, kind of realized the extent of the cancer. They kept him at the hospital. Sunday went into hospice, was passed away like the following Thursday. And you're just keeping him comfortable for those last couple of days. And he's
Mhm.
he's not even awake. He's just on pain meds and just kind of slowly his body's shutting down. So you're not really kind of asking him, "Oh, what are your wishes for this or for that?" And maybe he told my husband some stuff because my husband's been kind of the trustee,
Mm-hmm.
the estate,
Mm-hmm.
but you just
Not the
don't even
stuff.
really care. You just
Yeah.
want to be there, and just. But he was out of it too,
Yeah.
and he was like very polite. I remember that Sunday we all kind of saw him at the hospital, and my kids came. They've never had to deal with death before,
Mm-hmm.
so they were pretty shook. They didn't know how to really deal with this. And I mean, thinking about it right now gets me a little emotional, to be honest, because it was just a very special time and you're just kind of thankful for that moment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even I had a moment alone with him and just kind of, and he was asleep and I was kind of just thanking him for just being a good person and being a good grandfather. And, and I think he heard me because he kept kind of tapping my hand when I was
Oh,
talking to him. So, but I can't hide my emotions. My kids were upset.
yeah.
I, um, but anyway, so I was just thankful for that day. But you kind of realize, well, that's probably going to just be the last time I really have a
Mm-hmm.
decent conversation with him because he would kind of wake up and just say, "Well, I'm thirsty," and you give him some water, and then he just kind of was back to sleep.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, it was just
Yeah,
pretty
I mean,
fast.
it's
Yeah.
no doubt about it, but it's
What's the easiest way? Yeah, like no one
yeah,
knows. Drag it
right,
on for 2 years or be done in two months. I mean,
right.
I don't know. It's it's hard to say. It was kind of up and down a lot too. But
Something that has been a thread in a lot of the work that I've been doing and talking to people is that you can often involve somebody that's like not right inside your family, right? Because they
right.
have distance. We can sometimes say things, ask questions.
Hmm.
Even sometimes your kids can say funny things to your grandparents, right? Like we've
Right.
laughed about this. They can say something that you can't
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
right? During the process, I mean, how was it working with your mother-in-law during this time? Like, how
You
did she
know,
relate to you?
it was. She's a very religious person. She's always been like a happy person. I think she just kind of accepted it, but she has put on a brave front where I think she feels like I need to be okay for everybody. And I'm asking everyone else if they're okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I think our dynamics changed a little bit, where I just have this feeling where I want to care for her a bit more. Where before she's independent, she can take care of herself. But now it's like, I just want to check in. And I think our relationship will change. And she called me today too to see if I could take off a day in August. She's like, I'm just gonna be alone that day. Can you
Oh,
just take that day off and come with me and help me kind of move into my new place? Sure. Heck yeah.
yeah.
Like I'm there. You just my boss is cool. He's like, yeah, take that day.
Love that because I think something that, again, I've been learning as I've been talking to a lot of people about this
Yeah.
is these difficult conversations and processes open the door to an enhanced relationship in a way that you might not have anticipated.
Yeah.
And
Good point.
now
Yeah.
you might have a new closeness with her that comes from you being willing to stand up and help out and just be what she needs
Right.
when, for whatever reason, somebody else couldn't fit that. Like you said, she's got two daughters and a son.
Hmm.
Is there any sort of awkwardness about
Um,
how that goes?
so Tracy is kind of like the one taking over everything. Um, she's just a little more matter of fact and direct. So, and Bev, we go into one closet. Well, that leads into like another closet because this candle holder goes with these candles, but these candles are in this closet. So then we go up a new closet with a whole bunch of new stuff, and she can't always decide what she wants to get rid of. And Tracy will just say, "Well, just get rid of it, Mom. You don't need it." And I'll say, "Well, Bev, if you don't know, let's just put it here. Let's just put it to the side, and then you can decide later. You don't have to decide right now." Whereas I know with my mom, I'd be like, "Get rid of that." Like, shoot, you know. So for me, I feel like I'm a little bit of a buffer too,
Yeah.
where I'm
It
like, well,
is funny, like we're more harsh with our own parent
yeah,
sometimes,
right.
right? How have they handled or have you been part of deciding, gifting things to the future generations?
As a lot of people from the generation have a lot of nice things,
Mhm.
but these are things that our generation, even my kids, aren't interested in. She has like this beautiful china set, and I'm looking at this china, and it's like, I don't want someone else to have that, right? So okay, and my daughter, she's 18. Well, I'll take that. So we'll just hold on to it. It's kind of like that thing where we'll just take it, and then if we want to get rid of it, we'll get rid of it later.
Yeah.
Um, now I came home with a punch bowl. What am I going to do with the punch bowl? I'm like, I might take that out at Christmas if I host Christmas.
Yeah. Use
You
it.
know,
Why not?
like I'm gonna just forget it, take it out. Who doesn't like sherbet and Sprite and whatever the heck else goes in those darn punch bowl recipes, right? But she's also not pressuring us to take stuff,
Yeah, that's nice
which
actually.
which
She's
is
not
which
making
is
you feel guilty.
no, which is very nice. I know my mother will lay it on thick, but
Oh, yeah, she will.
yeah, but
Yeah.
my mother-in-law, like, she's got this beautiful depression glass and like this, those beautiful. I mean, I've never seen this color before. It's orange, but where am I going to put that? Like, where am I going to display that? I have no room for that. Um, a very beautiful, like, I think it's pewter silver bowl with those little shooters. It's like, well, do I take this pewter bowl and melt it down and sell it? Like, what am I supposed to do with this? Like, it's worth money, but I don't have the leg room to like trudge around to pawn shops
No,
on
no, you
Broadway.
don't.
Hey, what are you gonna like? Okay, I'll get $10 for this pewter bowl. Like,
After 5 hours
that's
of driving around.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if I melt it down, can I get more for it and form it into like a sword? Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with it.
So have you helped her try to get rid of other things now
Yeah,
that you've gone through the closet? Like she's recruited you to sort of help with some of the housewares, it sounds like.
I guess going back to my father-in-law stuff, we went into like the front closet, he's got coats in there. And then the back closet, he has coats in there. And then they have a home up in the mountains. And I didn't take anything from the mountain house, but you go up there and it's like his toothbrush is still there and like his bar of soap is still there. And like that's the stuff that's it's still there, his face cream, so his sunscreen, his
Oh,
skis. But anyway, but just at the main house, like that was tough. They're nice ski jackets.
right.
The only person that's really his size is my son. My son does not want to wear a red Columbia ski jacket. He just doesn't.
Right.
And then, how do you? I don't want. He feels bad. Well, I feel bad. I don't want that jacket. Well, maybe give it to someone that is a tall XL and can wear that. I don't know. It's not. It's like I get it, kid.
So have
Um,
you done anything with them, like looking into like an estate sale service or some like any outsourcing, any getting rid of anything?
yeah. So I thought Tim's sister did this, but it was actually my husband. I was quite impressed. They have the Salvation Army coming over and just took a bunch of stuff that won't fit into her new house.
Hmm.
Now we had to pay the Salvation Army $1,200 to take it, which sounds a little weird, but it's because they had to rent like 2 trucks. Yeah, but they're good because they'll take like everything
Yeah.
except that punch bowl. I
Except that
took the
punch
punch
bowl.
bowl, right, and
Don't
that
let them
pewter
have the
set,
punch bowl.
right? But
Yeah.
yeah, so like
Actually, if they're taking
bookshelves.
2 truckloads for $1,200, that seems pretty reasonable,
Yeah,
actually. And then at least like it's going somewhere where whatever is whatever the sales are will go to
yeah,
serve people in some way that you can feel good about.
right. Like his desk, and I did take like he had some really nice leather desk chairs in his office, so I took those, and now they're in my work office.
Nice.
And my boss is like, "Oh, those are pretty nice." I'm like, "Uh-huh, yep, they
We're
are.
classing up the joint
We
here.
are, we are." Um, so and then also when the kids were younger, it was kind of cute because he bought these like video games. And then he bought one of those horses that you put a quarter in and you ride on them at the grocery store.
Hmm.
I think COVID did away with those, but he has those. And
That's
it was
cool.
funny because the Salvation Army for whatever reason will not take those. So my brother-in-law actually found another like organization that resells arcade games. So I mean I think they actually paid for those. Not a lot, maybe like $400,
Hmm.
but to haul them away. And there's like 3 of those, like an arcade game, that horse, and then I can't think of the name of it when you roll those silver discs on like sawdust.
Oh, like bocce?
Yeah, like it's a bowling game, but
Yeah.
you
Okay.
would see it at like Dave and Buster's, like something like
Okay. Yeah.
that.
I mean, it's interesting because, like, I think what it's making me think of is some of the bigger stuff, right? And it's
Yeah,
like while you're still here, maybe they used it a lot, but like you might not be thinking of those as things like somebody's gonna have to deal with it.
yeah, yeah, right.
And for, the widow or the spouse who's I mean, they're probably grieving the most,
Hmm.
perhaps. And so like you don't want to leave that on their shoulders to deal with.
Right, right. So, and that's where my brother-in-law kind of stepped in, and he took that over. And then my father-in-law had a scooter.
Hmm.
So my one sister-in-law, Katie, she has a roommate who doesn't have a car, and he's like, "Well, I'll take the scooter." So, okay, forget the Salvation Army. We'll give it to someone that would appreciate it. Not that they
Right.
wouldn't appreciate it, but just someone kind of close and that can take it. So,
So let's think about this in light of our own lives, because I know that you have parents who are doing well, but they're older. And,
mhm.
you and I have laughed a lot about some of the crazy things that our parents hang on to. I
Yes.
mean, are there any learnings that you have from going through this with your in-laws that are making you think about how you would manage it with your own parents?
Yeah, I told my dad it would be a good idea if he could just show me how he pays bills.
Hmm.
Let me log on to the computer with you, Dad, and when you pay your bills, show me how you do it
Right.
and show mom. My mom told me that, oh, Jennifer will just handle it. Well, No, the hell I will. You need to get on there and do it too. Right? So, but that's one thing I was thinking. And then my dad, he collects coins.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course he
So
does.
he had his coin collection at in a safety deposit box at Chase Bank. Now Chase Bank is getting rid of the safety deposit boxes.
Yep.
So what would be the normal thing to do? Take your $400 coin collection and put them in your house somewhere. That
Yeah.
anyway, I mean, I don't
That's what
think
I would do.
they're heavy. I don't think burglars are going to take a coin collection. It's too much for them to carry. And they're, from the
Is it like
house
in
to
the
their,
little book? Like, is
yeah,
it
it's very
sorted out and
organized.
everything? Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
So he showed me, so he ended up, right by our house, by the grocery store, there's a safety deposit company.
Oh,
He just paid $500 to put his $400 coin collection into this place. Right?
we were in the wrong business. What are we
I,
doing wrong?
I
Let's
know.
open up a safety deposit box business.
And I kind of wish I didn't tell him about it because I said, Dad, you should have just gotten a safe.
Right.
But apparently the safety deposit box is big, and I guess he has more coins than I thought he had because, well, they could barely fit in the safety deposit box. So last night he showed me where the key was to the safety deposit box, and I'm on the name.
Good for you.
Yeah.
See, that's planning ahead. I'm
Yeah.
impressed. We went through my mom's not that long ago, and also in there were a couple pieces of jewelry that probably didn't actually need to be in a safety deposit box, but they
Right.
were, and then coins.
Yeah.
So my nephew, bless him, he showed my mom, here's how you can research every coin. Go online, Google tells
Oh.
you what it's worth. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we had like $75 coins that were each worth like $1.05.
Right.
So like the same, right?
Yeah.
Just take it to the bank. Let's get $100 bill and let's go out to dinner.
Or you melt it down, you make a sword. Right.
I hadn't thought about that.
Right.
That's a
See,
great idea.
I
Maybe it'll be
mean,
worth more as a sword. It's so funny how it's just the practice is I'm just gonna hold on to
yeah.
it. I'm just gonna
Right.
save it.
Right.
Why? It's not gonna be worth more. I mean, I guess depending on the price of precious metals, it could go up or down a little bit, but we're not talking like gold bars here.
No, no. This
No.
is like the Kennedy coin from like 1973 or something. I don't know.
We should compare our coin
We
collections because
should
I'm gonna
compare.
guess we
We
probably have
should.
a lot of the same exact coins.
Yes.
We're trying to get rid of my dollhouse. And it's like, okay, I found Miss Peggy's dollhouse shop in San Diego. Well, they
Right.
work 2 days a week and you can't
Right.
call them. It's only email. And, just like all the effort of navigating it is
Yeah.
for just one item.
Yeah. I had a dollhouse, and my mom, she gave it to my niece, and then the niece got older.
Yeah,
And I mean, it's those dollhouses from the 80s, like early 80s, they're sturdy, they're solid.
they are very sturdy. Yes, they
Yeah.
are.
And I love that darn dollhouse, but they ended up just giving it to like a daycare or a preschool. But I know what you mean. Like,
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I
I
gotta
didn't
plan
think
my
about
trip to
that.
San Diego and the dollhouse shop is open, and I probably
I
need
told the
like a,
lady, I can't, I'm not bringing it to you. If you want
yeah,
it, you can come get it because I
yeah,
can't, I'm not
yeah,
driving this thing
right.
anyway. But it's going to be like to your point earlier, it's going to be 20 phone calls to find this thing a home. And
Yes,
that's a lot of time that could maybe be better spent doing something more satisfying.
right.
But we'll never know because we're going to be spending a lot of hours trying to unload this dollhouse.
I know.
Maybe there's a church preschool nearby. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Are there any other words of wisdom or things that maybe came to mind as you were going through this?
Um, I think just, for your parents, and I work in finance, I think it's make sure they have a trust or a
Yeah.
will. Really find out where they are, make sure they're updated, find out who the trustee is, the successor trustee, like understand what the intentions of that trust are, who has it. get a statement, or just that's the main thing. I work with older clients and we need their trusts, and well, that was done in 2001. Okay, well, where is it? I have no idea,
Yeah.
So I think that's just a real important thing, just making sure your estate's in order, the titling of the house, if there's a beneficiary deed, just like that kind of stuff. But everyone's situation is different. But,
Right. But
work
just
with,
making sure it's organized so that the people that will have to deal with the estate
yeah,
know what the plan was.
right. Especially if your parents are in a second marriage,
Uh-huh.
maybe the main beneficiary is their first spouse who they don't like or something. So, the beneficiary is updated. If they move to a different state, I mean, it does take work. They're in a different
Yeah.
state now. So are there different rules in Florida versus Colorado? Are there different rules in Iowa versus Texas? I mean, just kind of some things like that. You will figure it out. And it's just, I think, knowing that it's a process. It's not going to happen overnight. Use resources. Be careful who you trust too. We I would have liked to have seen an estate sale, but the neighborhood that she lives in, I don't think they don't really have garage sales and stuff like that. I don't know. There's a lot.
Yeah.
I'm really glad that she's moving. People told her, well, you should stay in your house for a year before you do anything. Like, why does there have to be any kind of rule?
Right.
Everyone's on their own time frame. She
Yeah.
wanted to be closer to Tim's sister because they're close. And fine, what do you have to wait for? Like, why do you have
Right.
to? No, why is there a rule to this? Wait to sell your house before interest rates go down. Well, that may never happen. What are you
Right.
always like? What are you always waiting for? You're always just waiting, wait, and then it doesn't happen. So
So
I don't.
make the decisions that are right for you and your family, really.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
just kind of be transparent with your family too, like what to do with stuff. But I think also just know that it's just stuff. So getting rid of a lot of it is okay too. Like let someone else enjoy it.
I know it's been hard, but I do
Yeah.
appreciate it because I think we learn from each other and the mistakes that we make or the things that we do
Hmm.
right. And so we kind of got to stick together and help each other out.
Absolutely. This was good, Kirsten. It was a little, I think, therapeutic for me as well to just kind of reassure myself that things are going to be okay. They're going to be tough for a bit, but we'll all be fine.
Who Gets the China is written and hosted by Kirsten Mao, produced by Aaron Bryce of Blue Ogden Productions. Our theme music is composed by Greg Fellman of Wind Sand Productions. Our cover art is by Jen Beam of Gigawatt Studio. For more stories and expert advice, follow along on Substack or at www.whogetsthechina.com. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with someone who might appreciate the conversation. And don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time.